There comes a moment in every wrestling fan's life where we figure out this is a work, it's scripted, it's fake, it's entertainment, whatever word you like to use that you feel comfortable with, that basically labels what professional wrestling is, and that is entertainment. And doesn't matter whether it's AEW or WWE, there's always moments in time where you need to suspend your disbelief to take in what you're seeing. But moments like what happened on Dynamite make it really hard to do that. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kevin Zwicker from FastCon coming at you. Before I get into this video, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe. Guys, always remember, it costs you nothing to hit the like button and subscribe, and it helps the channel out in more ways than you even know. But on Dynamite, the way that it opened up in a very hot way yesterday. It opened up with my second favorite program that is going on in the moment on Dynamite, and that is Hangman Page and MJF. Now, the way that it opened was MJF was in a small white room, and he had a man behind him in some scrubs. At first, I thought, man, MJF is getting a colonoscopy or he is getting a prostate exam. Turns out I was extremely wrong at what I thought he was getting done. But he starts talking, and he basically starts explaining about how he is given an arm and a leg for us. Hangman is a guy who has done a lot of dastardly things, yet we cheer him and boo MJF when they're basically the same thing. And MJF talks about how he's the real McCoy. He's authentic. He's not this, person that Hangman Page is. And then he starts talking about how from now on, he's only going to care about 3 letters. And those 3 letters aren't AEW. Those 3 letters aren't FAN. They are MJF. And it cuts to him getting that AEW tattoo that he had on his ankle removed. And then we cut to back at the arena. We see Hangman Page having a squash match with Aaron Solo. Hey, how you doing? You got your money. Go back to catering. And then Hangman gets on the mic and he says, there's 3 things I hate. I hate running out of biscuits. He is a Southern Virginia boy, so that makes sense. He talks about how there's this dandelion that he hates. If you don't know, Hangman is really into plants, so it makes sense. And then the third thing he hates is whiny bitches who like to spit on him. If you remember last week, MJF spit on Hangman Page when they had that in-ring confrontation. MJF comes out, he has this white rag covered in blood, and as soon as you saw that, you knew that he gave Christopher Daniels a case of the beats. And MJF starts healing on the crowd, and he talks about how, he's not going to fight he's not going to fight Hangman, because Hangman is this guy who's this loose cannon, he's deranged, he's not going to do that, he fears for his safety. And then you cut to Christopher Daniels and a bloody mess on the Titantron, but you didn't see Christopher Daniels in a bloody mess on the Titantron at first. What you saw was Christopher Daniels blading himself and them cutting to Christopher Daniels blading himself in front of the whole world on the screen, on the arena, and on TV for us to see in its glory. And then we see Christopher Daniels playing dead. Now, like I said in the beginning of this video, I know it's a work. The majority of you are watching this video. You know it's a work. But like I said, there is moments where you need to suspend your disbelief. And when you have things like that, it completely takes you out the moment. At least it did for me. After that segment, there was not really many things that when you ask me what went down, what's the first image that comes into your mind? It's not MJF in the office. It's not Hangman Page giving Aaron Solo that nice squash match. It is Christopher Daniels botching a blading on screen. Now, I didn't know this until I heard it on a podcast. Don't want to give this individual credit because I believe they're a grifter, and I hate promoting podcasts that just hate on AEW for paychecks. I think that's extremely lame and a miserable way to live. But they came out and said that AEW does not hold production meetings, which is insane if you really think about it. WWE, of course, they hold production meetings. That is a well-known fact. I'm assuming companies like TNA has in the past, or they do for sure now with that connection that they have with WWE. But for AEW, a company who has had a show that has had 80,000 people in the arena, shows that have had 20,000, All in the UK this year had 50,000 people in there. That is something that is pretty mind-boggling, and you hear all the time. There's people, and I think they say this really in bad faith, that AEW is the minor leagues. But when you have a company that doesn't have production meetings, and you've had repeated instances of botching on screen. They've had audio issues multiple times. I don't know if that's a TNT and TBS thing or that is on AEW's end, but it shouldn't be happening at the rate that it happens on a multiple basis, right? And then last week we had the moment with Thunder Rosa and Megan Bayne where they just were awkwardly in the ring. You know, Thunder ran into the typical babyface chair save where in most cases we see the heels run away like weasels or rats, or we see Thunder, the babyface, hit the heels with a chair. We didn't see that. We saw this kind of awkward, tug of war for the chair. And from Thunder's mouth, she said there was a miscommunication from the back to the individuals that were going to be in the ring. And that's not something that should be happening. What happens on TV, they should have ran exactly what was going to go down to the point to where it's just muscle memory, and you don't have instances like that because it makes you look bad, and it has people online or people in the arena point and laugh at your product. It enforces the thought in individuals' mind that this is the inferior product and it is the minor league show. And that's not what you want if you really truly want to consider yourself the competitor to WWE, the 1B to their 1A. It's not something that, if you're trying to be in that position, can happen at the rate that they're doing. It really shouldn't be happening at all. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What ran through your mind when you saw that moment where Christopher Daniels was blading on screen? Did you laugh? Did you know what was going on? Let me know. Sound off in the comment section. What do you think about the Hangman story in MJF, period? Right? And like I said earlier, guys, remember, it costs you nothing to hit the like button and subscribe, and it helps the channel out in more ways than you even know. I am Kevin Zwicker.